Well, hello, friends. This is Caron, your independent demonstrator from Austin, Texas, coming to you live for a little bit of Stampin' and creativity. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your, holiday weekend for us here in Austin. So thank you for taking the time to join me for a couple of hours of some stamping. As always, you guys know that I like to, hi Cheryl, how are you? As you guys know, I do love to go through all of the administrative announcements before getting into the project. That way, if you have any questions, you can ask me throughout while I'm creating, and we can have, oh, I'm so happy you're able to join me live as well. I wish I'm able to join you live and some of your lives as well. After I'm done with the summer semester, I'll probably be able to do that. All right, so you guys, any of the projects that you see me demonstrating tonight, please don't forget to visit my shop on my website. The host code for the month is, as you see here, uniform C Charlie, R Robert, 3 D David, B Boy, J Juliet, N2, and it's good for the entire month of June. And of course, my shopping link is in the description box. Feel free to check that out. And of course, you guys know that I always offer a free gift with purchase. So when you purchase $50 or more of products on my Stampin' Up on my website, I will give you a free gift just as a thank you. And as always, you guys, if this is your first time joining me, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and invite some of your other crafty friends to join me. If you're returning, thank you for returning. I know you have your choice of every and anywhere that you can watch crafting videos, and I'm glad that you're choosing to spend some time with me. All right, so let's get going and see quickly what we've got, because I'm wanting to get to cover 2 cards tonight, mainly the Lattice card, but 2 cards. All right, we talked about this. You guys don't forget, designer series paper sale. It's Stampin' Up from the 1st to the 30th of June, and you get 15% off of the designer papers in the 2023 to 2024 catalog on page 129 to 132, and also the online exclusives. I believe it's the Hello Irresistible, I think, is a designer series paper that is currently in the online exclusives. Those of you that don't know what the online exclusives are, they are some products that Stampin' Up releases, and they are only available online. You will never find them in a catalog. And so while they are in an online exclusive item, that means once they're gone, they're gone. All right. So stock up. If you're like me and you love designer paper, you'll want to get it all. Now is the time to grab some. All right, Boho Beach kit, you guys. New kit that came out from Stampin' Up. Oh my God, it looks absolutely beautiful. I think mine is scheduled to get here, I think on Sunday. I think it's Sunday. I'm gonna break it out. But guess what, you guys? I am doing a kit together class on the last Saturday of the month. No, the last Friday of the month. So go ahead and purchase your kit. Once I see that you've purchased the kit, I'll send you a Zoom link, and you and I will have, and whomever else purchases the kit from my online store, we'll get together and we will do a little bit of crafting and have a little bit of fun. Okay. All right, so let's see what else. Y'all, it's always fun to stamp together with people, and guess what? Having the starter kit, Stampin' Up has previewed this awesome promotion for the month of June only. When you decide to take your love of stamping to the next level, and by that I mean you're wanting to save 20%, join Stampin' Up on my team in specific this month and this month alone. When you can purchase and become a hobby demonstrator, a business demonstrator, a hybrid demonstrator, For $99, you can get $155 worth of Stampin' Up products. And that's products that you pick. Stampin' Up doesn't tell you you have to have this, or the other. You pick your projects. So if you've been wanting to have the big shot, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, hey, you can put that in your order and let that be what you get as part of your $155. So want to know more about it? Definitely reach out to me. Contact me here, email me, message me through Facebook, however you reach out to me, and I will get back to you and love to share with you as to what's going on. I talked to you about the online exclusives. You guys, part of being a demonstrator with Stampin' Up is that you get to shop products early. Online exclusives are available to demonstrators for this entire month to pre-order, and it's only a limited stock on the 6th of July, when customers it's available to customers to shop. And again, these are only online, but there will be other items that's added to the online exclusive. So I'm excited to see what the 6th of July holds for us. You guys, any questions that you have for me throughout the next hour and a half, don't hesitate to reach out. Put it in the comment, shout, raise your hand so that I can see, and I will definitely try to get to you, okay? If I get out of frame, somebody wave at me, you do something so that I'll know that I'm out of the working area here, and I will try to keep it a little bit neat for you, but I tend to, you know how that goes. All right, so I saw Brandy, I don't ever know what her last name is, but Brandy, I saw her do a card, and it was called a Lattice card. And I was very intimidated by this card, okay? I looked at it and it was difficult. I said in my mind, oh my God, that's so difficult. I can't do this. I can't do this. But sometimes, when you tell yourself you can't, that means you don't do it. And I'm not one of those people. So I set out on a mission to make this Lattice card. Why do we call this a Lattice card? Do you ever see those lattice fences, you guys? Let me take that out. And here you go. This is why it's called a lattice. This part right here makes it a lattice card. Okay. Can you see? So it looks like a little lattice fence. And that's where, and this was the, what stamp set did I use with this one? I used the Fragrant Flowers bundle. I think this is a retired one. I have to go check. But this was definitely used for my sample. I loved it. And so I said, let me show you guys how I'm going to create this card. All right, so let's get started, you guys. So as I told you in the information, you are going to need, did I lose anybody? All right. So we're going to need a piece of cardstock. And for this card, I am working with Garden Green. And I'm working with Garden Green because I've decided I want to use one of our online exclusives products. This is called the Tropical Leaf, and it is paired with the Tropical Leaf Punch. Okay, and this is an online exclusive item. Okay, and so because I knew I was going with leaves, I'm like, green was the color, so I could use green, or I could use the Lemon Lolly, which I haven't used. This is a new one of our in color. No, not an in color. This is one of our, it's in the subtles colors, new to the subtles. But I decided I would go with the Garden Green. So here we go. You're going to need that. You're also going to need, I told you, some washi tape. But y'all, I think, I can't remember, I think it was Lisa Curcio in one of her favorite things, and she pointed to this wall safe tape. And y'all, this is the bomb, okay? Because it says it's wall safe, that means you can remove it from the walls without, hey! So because it's wall safe, that means you can remove it from the walls if you're hanging stuff and not destroy the wall and the paint on the wall. So I used it already, and this is amazing. Now, it's a little bit tackier than washi tape. So before you use it on your card projects, you should kind of de-stickify it just a little bit so it doesn't rip your card. All right, so let's get started and see what we got here. So we're gonna need our trimmer, right? So let's bring in my Stampin' Up! Trimmer. And we're gonna cut this card base. We're gonna need a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, okay? So let's get to cutting to 4 1/4. So if you're not familiar with the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you guys, I think it's one of the best trimmers that I know of. I love that we have up to the 16th inch on our trimmer. I love that we have this little lip here. I love that the arm also has a lip, and guess what, you guys? This lip right here is at 6 inches. So if you're wanting an even 6-inch cut, you are guaranteed that you're gonna cut at 6 inches once you're butted right up against this lip. The other thing I love about the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you guys, is that on this left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you can get up to 1.5 inches on this side. So sometimes when your paper's a little short, you might need to edge on that side. Absolutely love this. Now, just as a tip for you, I have horrible eyesight. I don't know if you realize that. So I just cut a strip, and this was like a 1/2 inch strip. And I just of white cardstock, and I put it right here so that the color, the numbers are a little bit more easy, a little easier for me to see when I'm trying to line things up. All right, so now that I've done that lesson, y'all, let's just get started, okay? So we need this to be 4 1/4 by 11. Get this piece over here. So you could really theoretically make 2 cards out of this one, okay? So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And all we're gonna do at this point is we're gonna score it at 5 1/2, okay? Not cut, score. So I'm gonna take my cutting blade out of the way, and I'm gonna put my scoring blade. Now, as with cutting, you can score, cut, or you can line it up at the bottom. It doesn't matter. For me, it does, because it's easier for me to find my mark. And so here I know that this line is 5 1/2. And so we're just gonna score at 5 1/2. Okay. So now that we have our score line, right? The next thing we're gonna do is we need to cut. So we're gonna line our either end, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna line that up at 3 1/4. So we will have a piece of cardstock that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And we're gonna set this aside for now. And so this 3 1/4 side right here, we're gonna leave it at that side, and we're gonna cut 5 1/2 inch strips on the 3 1/2 side. So here's what I was telling you. So you have the option, right? We know that this is 3 1/2, which is 3 1/4. I'm sorry. So this is 3 1/4. And we know we want this to be half size, right? So we can move a 1/4 inch. That's a 1/4, and a 1/4 is a 1/2. And we can cut, or because we have the right side of the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, we know that this is 1, this is 3/4, and this is a 1/2. So we can continue to line it up at a 1/2 on either side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And this little piece that we have left, we're gonna kind of line this up and do our best to cut it in half. Okay. Now, here's a little trick. When you have something as little as that, right? get a piece of Post-it note, right? Line it up, and you might cut the Post-it note, it doesn't matter, right? Line that up, and then all we're gonna do is line this guy up at where we think is a good halfway mark, right? And then we're gonna cut, right? And there we go. So we have two relatively even pieces, and we're gonna leave this, I'm gonna leave this over here so that I don't confuse them like I did with the others, okay? So now that we have this, let's bring our panel in place. Now we know that we always fold away towards the valley, right? Towards the mountain. Okay, what does that mean, fold towards the mountain? I'm looking for my bone folder. It seems to have disappeared. Okay. And so all we're gonna do, so when you scored the cardstock, you created an impression, you created a valley on one side, and you created the mountain on the other side. So you always fold towards the mountain, okay? So here we have our mountain, and we're gonna score this pretty darn good. All right, I need to take a drink, I'm sorry, y'all. What are y'all drinking tonight? My weekend is starting, so I am, woohoo! I'm on my, I can have soda now. I don't drink sodas during the week. I only have sodas on the weekends, right? Oh, I need one to be longer than that. Okay, I need it to be a little bit longer than that. And all I'm gonna do to help de-stickify it a little bit is I'm just gonna rub it on my clothes to help take some of the tacky off of this, okay? And so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this up on one of my grid lines, because y'all know I have a problem with anything that I need to line up. So I do need my grid lines. And I'm gonna put I'm gonna put this tape right in the middle. Okay. And then I need something with a little bit of weight. So I'm gonna grab me a block so that stays right where it needs to stay. And then all I'm gonna do now is, again, using my grid lines on my mat, I am going to have all these pop-ups popping up on my, just attempt to line these up evenly with the rest of the card base. So we have this one right here, and we know this has to be flush, right? So line it up like so. And then I'm gonna line it up. And I always start one at the bottom, one at the top. And I do that because I want to make sure that I get my spacing evenly, or as evenly as you can possibly get it, okay? Okay. And you don't need too much space in between them. And again, I am using the grid lines to help me line things up, okay? And the beauty of using the washi tape or this wall safe tape is that you are able to, because it's not permanent, if for whatever reason you had too much space, then you can adjust as necessary. Or if you don't have enough space in between, you could do that too, okay? So I see that I'm gonna need to do a little bit of adjusting because I have some spaces have even, some are not. And so I'm just gonna adjust some things a little bit. That looks fairly even to me. Okay. And now you're going to take these two smaller pieces and we're going to line them up. Now we're going to line these up about a 1/4 inch from each side. So I'm going to line the cardstock up against the grid line. And we know that these squares are 1/4 inch squares, right? So we know where we're going to lay things down. And again, it's always best to lay out once, lay out twice, even before adhering things with adhesive. Okay. Put that here. Use the other line. Is perfect. All right. So now that we have that, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to add adhesive. And we know we want to stay right within this line right here. That's what we know. And I knew I came down to the second line and then lined it up like that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, okay? And y'all, this lattice card is the mechanism or the base of it is already done. So it's just a matter now of designing and decorating the rest of the card. But our lattice framework is complete. There we go. All right. So this part of the card is done. We're going to let this sit and set. Move this out of the way. Now, here's some other things that you can do, okay? If you had a piece of acetate, you could put acetate there to give it a little bit of firmness. I'm not going to do that. Again, I'm just going to let this sit, let the adhesive dry, and I'm going to work on the rest of the card. All right, so in this set, this is a 2-step stamp. And I'm gonna I want to build some stuff against the lattice, okay? So that's my goal. So I'm gonna stamp out. Ooh, what size is this one gonna cut out? I think it's gonna cut the big one. So I'm gonna stamp both of them, and I'm gonna use that's garden green. I want to use my Parakeet Party because it's one of our in colors. And I'm going to do the other one in maybe Old Olive-ish, maybe. Nope, I'm going to use Crushed Curry. That's what I'm going to do my leaves in. Okay. So I'm going to condition my stamp because I've not used it before. Cheryl, have you done a lattice card before? All right, let me line this up and I can see. Okay. I got all kinds of pop-ups popping up, y'all. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna do this in, I need to condition it. I'm always looking for scrap, y'all. Okay, so we're gonna do one in our Parakeet Party. And my personal, when I'm two-stepping, I always start with my my more solid shape. That's what I tend to start with. I know some people that start with the I know some people that tend to start with the outline. I just find it's easier for me to line it up that way when I start that way. And I think for me, my detailed is going to be the same garden green, okay? Because I use garden green as the base, so I'm going to stick with garden green throughout, okay? I'm going to bring this guy back in. I always keep the scrap one so that one, I use it to stamp off, and then also just so that I can see if I'm lining things up properly. That's fairly good. Alrighty, so now I'm going to do this one as well. Then I'm going to line it up like so. That's one. I might do another one, but then I have two already. I'm going to do a second in, I'm going to do this one in crushed curry. Not sure what color. I want to stick with the green as my detail. I'm going to figure that out in a little bit. And because let's clean this off. All right, I'm going to bring in another piece of scrap paper. And scrap paper is always good, especially if you're deciding, you're unsure as to how many you're going to need or how many you're going to want. Always have scrap, do the scrap right. And if you need to use it, then it's there for your use. So crushed curry is what I'm using. I'm going to have the two leaves. Okay, I don't think I want to go with the garden green for that one. I'm thinking, so if you had to go between Calypso Coral and Cajun Craze, where would you go? I'm going to let you guys decide for me. Calypso Coral or Cajun Craze? Ooh, I like both. I think I like Cajun Craze. Which do you like? Do you have a bet? What's encouragement, Cheryl? Whatever it is, I'm glad that I'm offering you a little bit of encouragement. All right, so I decided I would go with Cajun Craze. At least I'm going to try that one and see if I like it. Oh yeah, I do. So a good choice. All right, so let me lay out the ones I have now. And then we can see if we need any additional pieces, okay? So we have this one. Oh, this was my sample. This was my, all right. And so again, lining it up in the punch. Trying to make sure you have it as even as possible. There we go. Making sure you have it as have an even a border as you can. May not have it perfect, but you'll have some of it. There we go. You know, perfection is for, when I say perfection, it's for Hallmark. These are handmade cards. And so you guys, you should always give yourself a little bit of grace. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is probably gonna, oh, here's where our, here's where our, what do you call these things? Gotta, if you don't have Post-it notes in your craft room, you guys, that's like a big no-no, if you ask me. You should always have some Post-it notes in your craft room. They are a godsend when you have little narrow pieces like this, that you're trying to get into a punch or something. They are a godsend. They're perfect for masking. And there we go. All right, and there you go. That's the purpose of that. So the one thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lay this out a little bit just to see, do I need anything else on my card? I think this is going to need a lot more. Right? So we're going to lay this out like this. And I want a couple more, but I'm going to go with the smaller ones now. Okay? Like I said, you guys, when you join me in a Stampin' on the Fly event, we are truly stamping on the fly. We kind of make it up as we go. And even that, it turns out wonderfully. I think, anyway. Don't you think it turns out wonderfully? All right, so here's what I do. As a general rule, I don't appreciate, I don't, this is one change with Stampin' Up! That I did not like. But I do use it. One, to make sure that my pieces fit back exactly where they need to be, or closely, otherwise they're jumbled in here, and I don't like that. So I do appreciate this with them. All right, so here we have our smaller leaf. And I think, what did I do with my, and you know, with everything, you gotta, it's odd numbers, right? So I'm gonna do 2 more of these, and I'm trying to decide if I should stay in the same color pattern. I think I will. So I'm gonna do 2 of the smaller leaves. One in crushed curry. And the other one I'm going to do in, oh, I saw that big spot there. That's why I'm stamping it over again. Okay. That's a little bit better. And then I'm going to do the other in the garden green again. And this one, I think I'm just going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp off because I think I'm going to use the same garden green as the I'm going to use the same garden green as the outline image. condition it. And I condition my stamps because they're brand new. Okay, I have not used them. It's the first time that I'm using them. And so to make sure I get a pretty good stamp, I try to make sure you have to, you should condition your stamp. Okay. So I condition it by rubbing my fingers over them, or or by and then by stamping it on something else so that it'll have the first stamp. So here we have, I use second generation to achieve this effect. I used the same garden green, but I stamped off to stamp the main image, and then I went full strength to do the outline. I didn't think of it with the crushed curry, so I don't have the luxury of doing that with the crushed curry. All right, so I want you guys to think about, how do we want to put our sentiment on this card? Do we want to stamp it straight on like I did with this card, like this? Do we want to stamp it on something and then add that? I'm going to let you guys let me know. Hey, Becca, how are you, hon? How was, I think it was Oklahoma. How was Oklahoma? I hope you had fun. All right, don't forget, this was the tropical leaf bundle that is in the online exclusives that are available right now online. Okay, that's where this stamp set is from. All right, y'all, there is no punch for this one, so we are going to have to fussy cut this. Fortunately, they're not that challenging, so we should be able to do this right quick. Okay, so well, that's good. I'm so happy. I ought to go with you. I haven't been anywhere at all, actually. Did Nora have a good time for her birthday weekend? And again, you guys, I always give this tip when I'm fussy cutting. The key to a good fussy cut is to use the non-dominant hand, whatever hand that happens to be for you, to guide as your guide. You move the paper and not the scissors when you are fussy cutting. Okay, that's my tip for tonight. Hopefully I'll give you many more as we continue. And it's just easier. I find that it's a little bit easier for me to maintain a little bit more of an even edging, an even white edging around when I use my non-dominant hand, in this case my left hand, to maneuver the paper rather than trying to mess with the scissors. All right, so we're almost done with this one, you guys. Let's finish this up. And did anybody give me any? I would love it. Oh my gosh. Oh, Beck, do you know this was supposed to be GAC weekend? We were supposed to be going out of town. That's okay. There's a lot of Juneteenth activities going on across the city, and so I might be checking some of that stuff out. I got homework to do. Yeah, I do have homework. I got like 6 projects due that I got to turn in on Sunday. So all day tomorrow, I'm trying to knock them out so that I can still have my stamp time on Sunday. Otherwise, I will not be stamping with y'all on Sunday. I got homework to do. I took a big test this week, yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was brutal. It was brutal. Okay, so did anybody give me any ideas on how they wanted the sentiments to be? Should I do it? Yeah. Should I do it on it? Should I? What are your thoughts? Okay, so all we have to do at this point, all right, is we're gonna have to snip, snip. Okay. Then we're gonna snip whatever needs to be snipped. We're gonna snip it off. Can you imagine if I didn't use my grid paper, how this would be? Oh my God, this would be so much worse. Yeah, remember that we cut this from this same piece of cardstock, right? So nothing should be longer. Stamp it on the card. Okay. Perfect. All right, so I think we can take this guy off now. Now, even though we de-stuckify it, if that's a word, de-stuckify, I'm still going to be a little careful in removing the tape. Here we go. And again, this is wall safe tape from Scotch that I used. All right, so our lattice part is done, as you can see, right? Now we just need to figure this out. So that it's little, like it's growing up the trellis. It's kind of what I'm going for, right? Does that look like that to you? All right. Okay, so how about we do this, then a small, and maybe the small goes that way. Then we have a big. And then we're going to have a small. And then we're going to have a big. What do you think about that? So, and it's important for me to try to figure that out because that kind of lets me know where I'm going to put my sentiment, okay? So that's why I'm trying to make sure my placement is where I need it to be before I do anything else. All right, so I think I'm going to say thank you so very much. And that's going to go about right here. So that's what that's going to look like. I think I like that. All right, so now that we know what we're kind of going to do, let's get to doing. All right. Now, if anybody knows me, we know that Caron loves to emboss, heat emboss. So I'm going to heat emboss that sentiment right onto this card. And I think I'm going to go with a gold. Any preferences? Any thoughts? I think I'm going to go with a gold. Either gold or a copper. Copper. Gold or copper? Gold or copper? Put gold or copper. Comment gold or copper. So here's copper. And here's my gold. Okay, so comment gold or copper. Where do you think we should go? Where is my Versamark now? Y'all, I have things everywhere up in this mug. There we go. Okay, I got 2 for copper, so I guess we're going with copper. This is my gold, so let's put this away so I don't accidentally do that. Let's get my sentiment on a block. And then we're going to stamp this in. Somebody told me the trick is just to put the thing down and then use the block, line the block up with the grid line on every side, and then pick it up, and it should be relatively straight. All right, so here we go. Inking the sentiment up with the embossing ink. Make sure I have it fully covered, nicely covered. You never know when you have enough, right? But how do you figure it out if you're good? You stamp it on something else and see how it turns out there. All right, I think I got everything covered on this one. Let me see. How good a coverage did I have? Wasn't inked up very well. That's why I test. That's why I test. Okay, and okay, there we go. So I'm going to spend a little extra time to make sure that this is inked up very nicely. Because I'm doing it on my card, I don't have the luxury. Well, I can always stamp over it, I guess. I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good. Perfect. All right, and so let me line this up again with my grid lines. Let me line that up with the grid lines. And then thanks so much. I'm going to spend a little time making sure this transfers. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000. There you go. Beautiful. Whoops. Bring in a little piece of scrap. Okay, perfect. You know, Stampin' Up! Has a kit for embossing, and I'm just too lazy to get up and go get it. But there is a kit that has a tray for the powder, everything. So I am just being lazy, doing it the lazy way. And I'm just gonna let my heat tool heat up a little bit. And then we are just gonna watch the embossing powder set. So we have our thanks so much. And then we started with our green. We went with our orange flower. Then we went with our green flower. And then we went with an orange flower. And then we ended up with a green flower. Do we still like this? I think I do. So now it's just a matter of let's getting everything stamped down or glued down. Let's go. And then we'll be finished with this card. Now it's going to be very important where you put your glue or your adhesive. And it's important for that because you have these panels in your lattice, right? And so you don't want the adhesive to glue your card shut. So you have to be a little bit mindful of where we are putting adhesive at this point, okay? So we did that. So if we're gonna have adhesive on, we're gonna have this flower going this way. Here's how I decide. I'm gonna have some here. I'm gonna have a little bit here, some here, whoops. So this is where I'm gonna adjust a little bit. All right. Thank goodness this stuff dries clear. Otherwise I'd be in trouble. And then I need to get this side adhered down. And then a little right here. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to come in with the next one. And we're going to want this guy to come this way. So again, being mindful of where we need to lay adhesive. All right. I know I saw a little bit up here. All right. We're going to need some here. Are you guys still liking the copper? All right, come on now. I need to lift this up. And I have a little bit right here. I'm going to put some right here, a little bit here. Okay. And so that leaf is down. Then we need this leaf. And we'll do the same thing to make sure that everybody is adhered where it needs to be adhered. Down. A little bit here. A little bit here. So that's down. And we're going to put a little bit here. Then we're going to put a little bit here. And then some here. Then we need to put this a little bit right there. I know watching me glue stuff down might not be so fun, right? But this is the process of laying this out. And then we have one more leaf that we need to put on here, and we're going to put this one like that. Okay, so again, almost done, y'all. And y'all, all of our pieces are on, except for our inside white card. for our sentiment. Do we need, should we add gems? And if so, what are you thinking? You think we should add anything to the card? What are your thoughts? Because we're almost done. I'm thinking I need one more thing, but I'm gonna let you guys let me know what your thoughts are. So my inside piece needs to be 4 by 5 1/4. No, I'm cutting 2 pieces here. I thought it was 1. 4 by 5 1/4. Ooh. And this is going to go on the inside of the card, like so. All right. I love people that know that I love bling. And because I love bling, I feel like I always have to add some to things. All righty. That's how simple this lattice card was. All right, so do you guys think that you'll be giving this a try? I hope so. I hope I showed you how easy it was to do this card. A little bling. I think some of my rhinestones might be a good idea here. Oh, and because I did the copper, maybe the champagne rhinestones is where I need to go. See, look at that, Cheryl. You said champagne. That is so funny. 1, 2, and 3. All right, you guys, that's it. That was the lattice card. Now, here's some things that you could do with this as well, okay? So I don't know if you noticed on this sample card, what I ended up doing was I used the timber embossing folder and I embossed the cover or the front pleat. So I had a little bit of extra texture on my lattice fence because, you know, timber. You could do the same here. You could have popped up one of these floral images if that was something that you wanted to do. You could stamp, oh, I might. Thank you so much, XOXO. I think it's perfect size for this. Should I add it? Should I add it? Should I add it? Should I add it? I think so. I'm gonna add it. Thanks so much, XOXO. That's what I'm putting on the card. Thanks so much, XOXO. Now I don't think I want to emboss it though. Do you think we should emboss it? I don't know. I think I do want to emboss it. Not sure though. Leave it alone, no XOXO. I think I'm gonna put XOXO on there. All right, let's bring some scrap back in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna Now there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. Like, what the heck? Okay. Okay. And I'm just going to put XOXO right here. All right. Make sure that ink transfers properly. Then just add a little bit more copper. Okay. Let it sit. Perfect. Perfect. Y'all, we are great. We are great collaborators here. This is going to be beautiful. I'm going to have to make another one of these because I love it so much. Not tonight, but I'm going to make another one. All right, y'all. Our lattice card is complete. There you go. What do you think? I love them. I think they're very easy. You just need really one half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you can make this card because that's all this was. This was one piece of 8.5 by 11, scored at the 5.5, and then cut one side at 3.25. That's it, you guys, and how we created this card. I love it. Love, love, love. All right, so I did want to go ahead and create one more card with you guys. What time is it? It is 9 o'clock. We've been on for an hour, and I try to keep these sessions to an hour, so I'm not going to do the card. I will pre-record. I will record that card making session with you guys, for you guys. And then I'll upload that, but I do promise to try to limit these to 1 hour. And so we're at that 1 hour mark. With that note, that being said, you guys, thank you guys for joining me tonight as we created a lattice card. I hope you do decide to try it. If you do decide to try this project, send me a picture, send it to me. I will upload it to my site. Just share with me what you have created. I would love, love, love to see what you create. Thank you guys. Have a good night and happy stamping.